And hi, and welcome to Gay Out the City. I'm your host, Prince Electro Diamond. And today, before I start going into the topic for today, I just wanted to discuss how happy I am that for those of you who either live stream the episode, recording of the podcast, or for those of you who are watching it on YouTube, I actually was able to fix the fucking audio for the Twitch stream, so hopefully it sounds a lot better than it has been previously. That'll also be a good thing for when I do the Opinionated Bitch on Tuesday, my Twitch show. So with that being said, today's topic is going to be self-expression. I will say, I am someone who is so glad that I found drag. Because, as I've always said, or as I've said before, if I didn't find Prince Electro Diamond, honestly, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you right now. Because probably the 2 years leading up to when I discovered Prince Electro Diamond in my mind were 2 years where I was like, basically, fuck it, I might as well just end everything now. So when people say that, like, they're not for people identifying as they, them, or if you're not born female, you're not allowed to identify as she, or anything like that, it's almost like everyone has their own self-expression. And we all find it in different ways. Whether it's some people are just happy in the skin they're born in. And for those people, I say, great. Fantastic for you. You were able to find out who you were from the very beginning. But a lot of us had to, like, struggle in this world, not necessarily knowing who the fuck we were. And in that, you find out your depression, which I feel honestly, in some ways, it is a little bit fucked up, but it changes your art. It kind of molds your art. At least from how I've been a person, creative person, artist. A lot of my art has come out of depression. Because there were so many years, so many years of depression. And when people say that people aren't allowed to express themselves in the way they see fit, it's honestly sad to me. Because it's like, you're just being so close-minded for no reason other than the fact that you feel that everything has to be the way it always has been. It can never change. And my response to that is, why? The world literally was built on evolution. So we all evolve. People evolve and change all the time. And for you to just sit there and be like, no, it has to be the way things were from the dawn of time. That's it. You must be a person who has never used the internet, never used a telephone, never used air conditioning, never used electricity, because for you to say that things can't change from the way they were before in like the time of the beginning, like the beginning of the world, well then if you believe that, you're missing a lot of fucking shit. Because I am so glad for technology. I am so glad if it wasn't for technology, I wouldn't be sitting here recording for you right now. And for a lot of people, they just don't get people's self-expression. It's why a lot of people are very sort of judgmental of modern art because they don't understand it. Now, granted, there is some modern art where I'm like, okay, this is a bit much. Like when people just paint a canvas orange and they call it orange. That's a little pretentious. But when I remember actually being in New York City and seeing like this sculpture made out of tires, and I was like, wow, that's fucking awesome. So modern art does have some good things in it, but there are also some bad things. There's good and bad in almost everything. But when people just, I will say this, a lot of people don't understand creative people. And I don't think they ever will. Because artists are misunderstood. And in that, you're not going to follow societal norms. That's why I say, in some ways, societal norms, fuck society. I love being able to put a wig on my head, put makeup on my fucking face, put on a pair of whatever heels I want to wear, and put on like fucking thongs, and that's it. Like, I don't have to because they say men have to wear pants. No. Sorry, bitch. Nope. And in that, I feel liberated. That's why I am honestly a big proponent of self-expression, because of the liberation you find in your self-expression. You're able to discover who you are. You're able to discover what you're about. And for me, that's honestly freeing. Because, to quote RuPaul, we're all born naked and the rest is drag. So, literally, everything you do is an expression of who you are. And some people just want to express themselves at the most basic level. And to them, I say, that's fine. No hate. You do you. But, like, if I want to put on a different wig to when I host something else, I can fucking do it. Because it's my expression. My wigs are my expression of my truth in that moment. I actually will say I feel more at home dressed in drag than I ever have just waking up and just being in the skin I'm in. And maybe that's because through the depression, I say the depression is good because it allows you to have art, but also you want to put it into your art, and you kind of also want to put it in a box and block it away from your day-to-day thoughts. Because if I went through every thought that I had every day when I wake up, every like extremely depressing thought I had, every sort of suicidal thought I ever had, if I had ever looked deep into that, I'd probably never be able to get out of bed. And that's why when they say people, they don't get when certain depressions keep people in bed at all times. I will say I am someone who they would consider like high functioning because the whole time I was depressed, I was able to do whatever I had to do to get through the day, whether it was go to work, go to school. I just never was stuck in bed. But I get people being stuck in bed. And you know what? I'm not mad. It also goes back to the whole suicide thing when people say, oh, it's so selfish to take your own life. It's so selfish. You think about other people. And my question to those people are, if other people are so concerned about you, why the fuck aren't they doing anything for you? Like, I remember having discussions with my dad about me being depressed, and he was basically like, what do you have to be depressed about? And to me, it's like, then you have to go into the box that I said you had. You have to go into the box that you've closed, and you have to open it back up again. And so much of my depression was from not being able to be who I was. So now that self-expression that I have, I hold on to it. And I will say, I don't mean to make this podcast too political, but if there are fucking fascist dictators who are going to try and come and take my self-expression, I will fucking go in jail for it. I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care at all if some people want to elect a dictator into the fucking presidency. I will fight for what I have to do. Because I have to. There is, in my life now, I've come to realize there is no life without Prince Electro Diamond anymore. There just isn't. That is who I am. That's who I'm going to be. And it's honestly probably why I've said this. I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I've told this to people. Like, I never want to have kids. Because I feel that kids should be. First of all, I don't think I'd be a good parent. Like, I am too. I don't want to say I'm too self involved. I'm a little self involved, but it's also, as I said, with depression and all of what I've had, I can't be depended on because it's rough out there. And it's also the fact of I don't see myself wanting to be like a father figure. I want to be like uncle, drag queen, auntie type person. That's what I want to be. I want to be the person who's like, I will take you in. I'll hold you. I want to tell you the world's all right. But I don't want to be responsible for you all the time. Like, that's a little fucking much. Oh. But, and with that, I've come to going back to self expression. Now with my self-expression, I will say I'm not gonna say I've completely beat depression, but I'm no longer as depressed as I was before. I actually think I'm kind of good now. I think doing this podcast and doing my Twitch show, The Opinionated Bitch, has just leveled me down. I'm not angry anymore. I'm more even keel and calm. Because I guess I would say, especially doing The Opinionated Bitch, that helps me out a lot. Because it's like I pick a topic, I do a little research on it, I press go live on Melon, hashtag not sponsored. God, I wish. And I just let it all out. And at the end, I feel free. Because there's something about expressing your opinions on something going live onto a live stream and expressing your opinions, then pressing end stream, and you feel good. I will say this, I understand why people, like way back in the day, wanted to do radio and wanted to be like sitting behind a microphone and just expressing their thoughts. I understand why people started doing this kind of media because it's very satisfying to just let the poison out. Because I will say, I feel bad for people who don't have any creative medium. Because, especially men are taught in society that you're not allowed to cry. You have to be angry. The only emotion you can show is anger or even keelness. You're not allowed to show any emotions. You're not allowed to cry in front of people. It makes you unprofessional. And to that, I say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I hate that. I hate societal norms where men are forced to be like these emotionless zombies. And women are expected to stay at home and cook dinner for the man and expected to serve him. I think it's gross. It's now granted, if you want to do that, you should be able to do that. But I believe in liberation and not, and some people can say you can find liberation in that. But I don't like that being expected to be how things are. I want to live my life, do my shit, express myself in drag. At some point, hopefully at the end of the week, have sex, fucking get a dick in me, and feel. Because, yo, that's what I love about sex. I love how when somebody's fucking you and when they're done, or actually as you're doing it, I will say this, I love sex. It's the only time I don't feel pain in my fucking feet, for the most part, is when I got someone jamming their dick in me. So I don't know if that's the solution that doctors would say, but I'd say if you're in lots of pain and you're up to it, have more sex. Like, there's no scientific proof to what I'm saying, but get fucked. Honestly, like, let it all out. Because I will say being in ecstasy is honestly one of the best feelings in the world. And in some ways, some people would argue for people who are like porn stars and sex workers, look, sex is also self expression. In fact, actually, it's the most like natural self expression because that and masturbation are their own self expressions. It's you releasing all of your sort of pent up aggression and getting to that moment. So, yeah, fuck. That's what I have to say to people. Like, this is just reiterating, but have sex, masturbate, express yourself, be free, be honest, be raw. Because at the end of the day, you've only got a finite amount of time on this earth and then you're fucking dead again. Or, sorry, dead again. Then you're dead. God. So that's why I know this is another thing. That's why I don't understand people waiting till marriage to have sex. Okay, what are we in 1855? I mean, first of all, if you wait to have sex, you're not going to be good at it the first time. And you thinking till marriage, there's some stuff I would say I'm so glad that I disassociated myself with Catholicism because out of leaving Catholicism, finding out who I was able to find out what I like, what I don't like. Because there's lots of stuff. I mean, some people are actually idiotic and think, oh, you could just watch porn and that's what real sex is like. Motherfucker, you stupid. Porn is literally shot in a studio. It's or in a house, because I know they do porns in houses, and it's all theater. That's essentially what porn is. Porn's basically like, that's why they call it porn movies. They don't call it porn real life. So, you gotta know how to do things before you get married, before you're with just one person. And honestly, now I'm not saying you gotta sleep with the whole town unless you want to. And again, do you, boo? I've had more than one sexual partner, so I'm those who live in a glass house shouldn't throw stones. So I mean, but it's just you gotta know what you like, and you're not gonna know that unless you have sex with more than one person, and then you could go to your next partner, or if you're in an open relationship, you can have one person do something and then go back to your partner and you're just like, okay, I got something for you now. I want you to do this. and this, and this, and not that. I'd probably say that about choking. Because no, I don't want to. I don't want you to choke me. I don't want you to pretend like you're gonna fucking murder me when we're having sex. Like when you're fucking me, don't pretend like you want to fucking murder me. I don't get. See, that's women. Women are into that kind of stuff, and I feel when, in some ways, I've heard people talk about sex, and in a lot of ways, women are very beige because they're. I've heard like a study that said that the most exciting thing women have is getting tied up. And it's like, as a gay person, I'm like, you've got motherfuckers walking around in dog collars and dog masks, and you're talking about being tied up. And that's why, like, for example, it's almost like how straight people like view ass eating as like this sort of like taboo thing, whereas a gay person, I'm like, that's almost the norm. Like that's low level stuff. If you're talking about like being freaky and stuff, I would say probably the craziest thing I heard about is like autoerotic asphyxiation. That and like fucking corpses is probably two of like the things where I'm like, those are things. Like people actually want to fuck dead people. I mean, again, look, I'm gonna say it like this way, no hate, but that's a little odd. I'm trying to figure out if I should stop here because if I feel like at some point I'm going to get myself in trouble. Because I love when people. This is why, just to say to do a podcast, if you're not afraid to like put stuff out there, if you're afraid to put stuff out there, then you should never get behind a microphone and talk about your life and talk about your opinions. Because you're going to end up saying something, doing something. Well, I should say saying something. You're going to end up saying something that you might regret. But and in some ways, look, almost everything I've said, I don't ever want to take back because I spoke honestly and I spoke really and I spoke rawly. And sometimes I love that phrase where they said, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And there's some times where it's like, there's some people in your life where it's like, if I can't say anything nice, so what am I supposed to do? Just like shut the fuck up and never talk again? Ay. Yeah. I'm gonna put this podcast to a close. Anyway, this is Gay Out the City. I am your host, Prince Electro Diamond, and I hope you've enjoyed.